If you've been scrolling through endless generator listings, watching video after video, and still feel that knot in your stomach wondering if you're about to pick the wrong one, stick around. I've been there. The do I really need 7,000 watts? Will it be loud enough to wake the whole block? Can I actually use it on both gas and propane? Questions that keep you up at night. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes a generator worth its price tag isn't just the headline wattage. It's how that power translates into real-world moments. A sudden power outage during a summer storm, a weekend off-grid campsite where you still want to charge a laptop and keep a mini fridge humming, or a construction crew that needs a reliable source for tools without hauling a fuel truck. The Pulsar 7250W super quiet dual-fuel remote start inverter generator, paired with its heavy-duty waterproof polyester cover, tries to cover all those bases in one package. First off, the dual-fuel capability is the kind of flexibility you only notice when the fuel gauge starts to dip. With a gasoline tank, you can get up to 8.5 hours of continuous runtime at half load, which is solid for a generator in this class. That means if you're dealing with a prolonged outage, you can keep the lights, refrigerator, and even a few essential electronics alive without scrambling for a fuel stop every couple of hours. When propane is easier to source, say you have a 20-pound tank already at the house or in the RV, you can just switch the intake and the unit will run just as smoothly. The ability to toggle between fuels eliminates the panic of "what if my gas is stale?" and gives you a backup plan you can actually rely on. Noise is another hidden cost. A lot of portable generators scream at 7,580 dB, enough to drown out conversation and draw complaints from neighbors. Pulsar claims a 62 dB operation at rated load, which is comparable to a quiet dishwasher. In practice, that level feels like a low hum in the background. You can still have a conversation on your porch or hear the rain without the generator stealing the spotlight. For anyone who lives in a tight-fit subdivision or who plans to use the unit for camping, that quietness translates directly into fewer complaints and a more pleasant experience. Now, let's talk about the inverter part. Inverter generators produce cleaner power, which is crucial if you're plugging in sensitive electronics like laptops, phones, or even a TV. The waveform is more stable, meaning you're less likely to see flickering screens or get a sudden shutdown of a device that's mid-upload. That's a practical benefit for a home office worker who needs to stay online during a blackout, or for a photographer who's charging gear on a remote shoot. The bundle includes a 31-inch by 21-inch by 23-inch waterproof polyester cover. At first glance, a cover might feel like a simple accessory, but in the field it becomes a lifesaver. Imagine a sudden downpour while the generator is still running. The cover keeps rain from seeping into the engine and electrical components, extending the life of the unit. For homeowners who store the generator in a shed or a garage, the cover adds an extra layer of protection against dust and humidity, which can be the silent killers of engine longevity. All of these points sound great, but there are trade-offs you need to weigh. The unit weighs roughly 200 pounds, so it's not something you'll toss into the trunk of a compact car and drive to a campsite. You'll need a small hand truck or a couple of strong arms to move it. If you're a weekend camper who values portability above all else, a lighter, lower wattage model might serve you better. The fuel consumption, while decent for the power output, is still higher than a 3,000-watt generator that would suffice for just a few lights and a phone charger. That means if your power needs are modest, you could end up paying for more juice than you actually use. Another practical consideration is the remote start feature. It's convenient to fire the generator up from inside your house during a storm, but the remote unit relies on a battery pack that needs occasional charging. If you forget to keep that battery topped off, the remote start becomes a nice-to-have that you can't actually use. It's a small step in the user experience, but one that can turn into a frustration if you're not diligent. So, who should put this generator in their garage? If you live in an area prone to severe weather, tornadoes, hurricanes, or even just frequent summer thunderstorms, the combination of high wattage, dual-fuel flexibility, quiet operation, and clean power makes it a solid anchor for your emergency plan. It also shines for RV owners who want to plug in a refrigerator, air conditioner, and a few gadgets without worrying about noise complaints at a campground. Small contractors who need a reliable source for a table saw, compressor, and lights on a job site will appreciate the 7,250 peak watts and the ability to